biggest lesson that I learned this week is that you really only need 2 things in your nature bag, and that is a magnifying glass and paints, and that's it. You're set. Well, paper to put the paint on, but I mean, you don't even need that. I mean, they would have painted a rock and been happy. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Bird's Nest Schoolhouse. If you're new here, my name is Jocelyn, and I am a first-year homeschooling mom to a rising kindergartner and a rising first grader. And this summer is we are diving into pre-homeschooling with nature study. And my kids, they're 4 and 5, so I'm really just keeping it surface level and basic and just getting them outside and observing. I'm not expecting any sort of science journal to be published at the end of this summer. It's just really to get outside, have a basic understanding of why we have such different environments throughout our island and what you might find in the different spots of the island. So yeah, it's just really introducing them to exploring nature besides building mud pies. This week was our first week with doing our nature study, and it was so much fun, and the kids had so much fun. I had so much fun. It was kind of surreal because at the end of the week we do a field trip, and we have our nature, I bought them nature journals with paints, and so the other night we were just sitting outside at sunset, and we all had our paints out, and we were all sitting at the picnic table painting, and I was like, this is not anything I would ever thought. It was so relaxing and so just cool to just be sitting outside painting with my kids. I mean, they're 4 and they're 5, so it was a little bit more abstract for them, but I had a really good time, and it's not like pre-homeschooling world, I never would have thought to go outside and just paint with my kids. So I'm really excited for this summer and to kind of see what this summer holds. So yeah. So, hold on. My allergies are really bad, so I'm sorry if my voice is going in and out. We have Sahara dust. It's called Sahara dust, and it comes in plumes from Africa, and it's actually really good for us. I mean, even though you have a lot of dust in the air, it kind of gives outside like a hazy look, but it's really good because it keeps hurricanes away. So it's like a double-edged sword. People's allergies get really bad because there's dust in the air, but it keeps the hurricanes away. So, but anyway, let's move on. So we had our first week of nature study this week, and this is the I Heart My Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands nature study, and we focused on our backyard. So the overall view of the nature study is to just learn about the different habitats of the U.S. Virgin Islands. We have mountains, we have streams, we have like dry cacti, we have beaches, obviously, we have coral reefs, we have tide pools, we have salt ponds, we have so many different cool ecosystems here in the Virgin Islands, and just, you know, understanding where our island is on the earth, why it is the way it is, and just about the different parts of our island. This week we focused on specifically our backyard and discovering nature in our backyard. And it was a lot of fun. And we started the week by reading this book, Swirl by Swirl. And if you have young kids and you're introducing them to nature study, I 100% recommend this book because it just talks about swirls in nature and how you see them like everywhere. You know, you see them in tails, you see them in twigs, you see them in snakes, you see them in shells, and, you know, in leaves, and how they're a sign of strength. And I mean, my kids really loved reading this book, but my daughter, she went down into the yard with her magnifying glass and just hunted for squirrels. And she's been doing that every day since we read this book. And she found one, and she was so excited that she found one that she held, it was like a little vine around a stick, and she held it up and she's like, I need to take a picture with my squirrel. Like, she finally found a squirrel. And then when she found one, like, she saw them everywhere. And it was just so cool because, like, that was the point, was just to notice things in nature. So these are their workbooks. I did little coloring pages, and they got their paints out and they kind of went to town on the front of them. So I have it broken down where we do 2 different days of learning, which is really just like 10 minutes of talking about a subject. And then they do first we talked about this, what do you notice, what do you wonder, and what does this remind you of? Which I was surprised when my daughter started talking about, like, what the rocks look like to her. Like, oh, this reminds me of a piece of pizza. You know, it's just cool when they can feed something back to you that you explained. And then we went down in the yard and we found a leaf, and we drew a picture of a leaf and what it looked like, and we described it. And then up here I have them do what the weather is. It was sunny. And then we did a craft, and this week we did a self-portrait, so they got to search in the yard for things that reminded them of things that they could use for a face. So my daughter did one of her, and then my son did one of him, and then we all did one of their dad after that. And it was just, I think they had more fun doing their dad because he has glasses and he has dreads, and so like they got really into that. So we did the self-portraits, and that was a lot of fun. And then on the second day, we did the difference between our backyard and our family's backyard in Ohio. And we got a little flashlight out and we shined it around a globe as to where the equator was, which explains why it's warmer here. And kids really enjoyed that. And then we wrote a little letter. I had put a little letter in the notebook here, and it says, hi, in my backyard I saw, and then they had to put something that they saw. And my son found an anole, which was on our back porch, which we actually looked it up in our field guide. And if you're familiar, if you're not, I'll just show you a picture. It's like a little lizard looking thing, this here. And it was on our back porch. And so he drew an anole, which is, see here, it's got the little red throat. And anyway, so he described it, said it was small and green. I don't have snow, but I do have, and then he had to name something that we have here that they don't have there, which is an iguana. But then he wrote that it was snowing out, which it wasn't, but that's okay. So yeah, that was a fun activity, just to draw something that you identified from your field guide that was in your backyard. I put together a bunch of pictures, and we cut them out, and then we drew them out of a bowl, and we had to decide whether it's something that lived up north or something that lived on our island. So they definitely understood the concept, which is the point, and they got to use glue sticks, so that's all that mattered. Okay, and then our last activity was our nature notebooks, and I got these nature notebooks. Well, they're not nature notebooks, these sketchbooks, these blank notepads off Amazon. It was a 2-pack for like $5. And I figured for the kids' first nature notebook that it was fine. I mean, my daughter's a little heavy on the watercolor, and it did go through the page, but it's fine. It is what it is. So we went down in the yard and we used our watercolors, and this is something I'm doing with them, and I actually really enjoyed it. I painted lizard food, sorry. And it was fun, and like, I mean, the kids just want to paint. That's really all they want to do. So we had a good time. My son did it backwards. This is my son's lizard food. And then he did these castor bean seeds, which is here. I have them here. Which this is another part of our nature study, is this shelf. So I have in their nature packs, I have these big Ziploc bags that if they find something that they want to collect, whether it's a rock or a leaf or these castor bean seeds, then they can put it in their bag and bring it back within reason. Obviously, I'm not trying to bring home any trees or anything, and hopefully things that have already been discarded off of trees. I don't really like it when they pick stuff off the trees to bring home. So with that note, this coming week we are doing forests, so temperate forest, moist forest, dry forest. That we are going on a field trip to a forest field trip, and we'll be trekking through the bush, as they call it, which will be fun. But let me share with you what is in our nature bags. Okay, so first things first, I have these. These are called Kinder trekking bags. We've had them for years at this point. They're called Kinder trekkers. Kinder trekkers. They are called Kinder trekking rucksack. And the kids have used these quite a bit, and they are really great shape. They kind of snap across their chest, and they're small, so like they fit their back. So we have 2 of those. It's got a little pocket up here, which is nice. So it snaps open and then it cinches at the top. Okay. So as I said, we have a Ziploc bag for collecting treasures. We have, depending on where we're going, we didn't bring these out into the backyard. They did insist on bringing their nature bags into our backyard, but that's okay. We have these fish nets, and they catch fish and they catch bugs with these. That's for that. Again, it depends where we go if we bring those. And then we have these really great magnifying glass. And these I actually bought used from somebody. I bought a whole homeschooling pack, like they were done homeschooling and they were selling tubs of homeschooling stuff. So I just bought the whole tub. I didn't know what was in it. And they had 2 magnifying glasses in it, and they are really great magnifying glasses. Let me show you. This other one, it has it. The other one's broken, but it has this piece that comes down, so you can set this and look at something, which is pretty cool. All right, so we have, like I said, we have these notebooks. They come in a 2-pack off Amazon for $5. They're 5x8 notebooks. They have blank sheets. It's nice hardback spiral. So they're perfect. They're perfect for what we need them for at this stage. I have a pencil case that is colored pencils and pencils just for writing if we need them for their workbooks. And then we have, this is really great. These are really great. This is a traveling watercolor set off Amazon. I want to say it was like $9. It comes with a sponge. It comes with a watercolor pen, and you can see I still have water in there from the other day. So you just travel with your water, and then it has the colors, and it has a lid, so this pops right in, and then the lid pops on, and it's great. And you travel with it, and it's lightweight. It's perfect. And I got one for each of us because I knew my kids were gonna kind of destroy theirs. So, but it's perfect. It's perfect for them. And then I have a backpack as well. So that's what's in the kids' backpack, so that it's nice and light. And then I have in our backpacks the field guide. In my backpack, the field guide. I have this land birds of the U.S. Virgin Islands. It's just like a little postcard size identification card. And then, you know, things like sunscreen and snacks and water, things like that. I have a little friend here, and yeah, so that's what's in our nature bag and how our first week went, and we will be continuing to share as the summer progresses and our adventures continue. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, leave a comment down below or question down below. I am happy to answer, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.